This is going to be really boring, and it's not going to be really short, but it'll be short enough because I did not. Oh, I did. I didn't think that I made the drawing stuff. I'll stay away from the drawing stuff so that we can go fast, okay? Man, when you get me talking about government, though, I just really go on and on. So, content statement 7 is about the founding documents that we call the Federalist Papers, the Anti Federalist Papers, and the Bill of Rights. They shoved all of these together into one. They used to be two, and now they're one. So here we go. Let's go fast. Content Statement 7, the debate presented by the Federalist and Anti Federalist Papers. Federalists supported the ratification of the Constitution, the making of the Constitution official, because it wasn't official yet in 1787 when it was first written. It had to be ratified. That's wrong. The Anti-Federalists did not want it to be ratified. They opposed the ratification of the Constitution. And they both had arguments on each side for it. The debate between these two over protections for individuals and limits on government power resulted in the Bill of Rights. So they want you to know that these two gave us our Bill of Rights. The fight between them. I've got to sneeze.
Bless you, Mr. Beavers.
Thank you, Batman. I'm not editing that out either. Resulted in the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights provides the constitutional protections for individual liberties and limits on government power. Okay. We'll get to that last part in a second. Bill of Rights, limits on government power. My sneezes always come in two, so.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Dankeschön, if we're speaking German, Batman. The Federalists published a series of essays to convince others to support the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. Again, ratification just means to make it officially official. The Federalists fought for, wanted Americans to buy into the idea that we needed national taxation to fund the central government. You got to have a government that's being funded if you want a government that's strong enough to protect you. They said a standing army to protect us, strong national defense. And the Federalists also wanted a strong central government. Not so strong, though, that it became a tyranny like the King of England had. Make sure it has checks and balances so that, between the legislative, executive, judicial branches, so that it won't get out of control. But it needs to be strong enough to protect our rights. Whenever you think of Federalists, think of a strong national government. Strong national government, standing army, national taxation. When you think of Anti-Federalists, the Federalists were only written by three guys: Madison, John Jay, Alexander Hamilton. That was James Madison, by the way. The Anti-Federalists, there's just a whole bunch of them. And, they all had different agendas, but their overall, one big concern is that we don't want a strong central government because we just overthrew a strong central government. That was the King of England, right? They published their concerns relating to the shift of power from states to a strong central government. They wanted the states to be more powerful than the national government. Their concerns included national taxes. Those can be repressive. Those can take away our rights. Those can be repressive, just means oppressive, right? Taking away rights. Like one guy said, what if they tax our beer? I think that was Brutus number 5. I think we talked about that earlier this year. The Anti-Federalists were worried about the use of a standing army against their own citizens. I mean, hadn't the British used the standing army against Americans, right? What if the American president decides to use a standing army against his own citizens, right? That's bad. And instead of having a strong central government with checks and balances, they wanted the strong central government to be really more checked by the states. They wanted the states to be more powerful and have the balance between the national and the states tip towards the states. They argued, they printed, published back and forth for about a year, slowly, state by state, ratified the Constitution. Eventually, all 13 of the original states ratified the Constitution eventually. But one of the key issues in the debate over the ratification of the Constitution concerned individual rights. Anti-federalist arguments regarding a lack of protections from individual liberties led to the introduction and eventual ratification of the Bill of Rights. The Anti-Federalists said, some of them said, give us a national Bill of Rights, a Bill of Rights that keeps the federal government, especially Congress, from taking away these certain lists of liberties. And then, we'll help ratify. So like the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights, the government is limited. Congress is not allowed to take away our freedom of speech, press, assembly, petition, or our freedom of religion. In fact, religion is the first one mentioned in the First Amendment. That we're supposed to have due process. That's Amendment 5. Due process means that the federal government can't just come and say, you committed a crime, we're going to take away your property. No, they have to go through a process of taking you to court, showing evidence, charging you with stuff. You get to have a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Like it has to be this big process, and you might have a chance to win. Protections against illegal search and seizure is number 4. I think it's number 4. I think that's the Fourth Amendment. The Bill of Rights is kind of like the Ten Commandments. You know what's in it, but it's hard to memorize. Anyway, expectations for learning. Compare the arguments of the Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Okay, well, here they are, presented pretty in opposing terms. Explain how the Federalist and Anti-Federalist debates led to the adoption of the Bill of Rights. If you have any questions, please let me know. That was 7 minutes, sorry.